But before we do, folks, I do want to quickly talk about last week's movie. Um, First of all, ever since I've become even more of a Tracy Flick fan, anything bad she did was almost always prompted by terrible behavior by the responsible adults in the room, the teachers. Anyway, so I'm a big fan, and I think actually the director was. It's why he made the choices he did. That said, I've got two items for you. I will pin them in a link down below. But one, he shot the original ending. The ending that was in the book. Apparently, it didn't test well, but I found it. It's pretty rough. Looks like a copy from a VHS. If memory serves, I think it even has the time code, but I will link to that YouTube video again in a pinned comment. The second item is, and this blows me away a little, but there's a sequel just came out. Tom Perrotta, the guy who wrote the book, the original book, Election, wrote a sequel, Tracy Flick Can't Win. And it answers the question we asked on last week's show, which is, what does she end up doing? What do we think? What is her job? I got it way wrong, but when I bring in my co-host with the most, we'll see what he thought originally. I thought she was going to be some elected official, something. That is not what she ends up doing, and I'm really excited to hear, before I tell you what actually she ended up doing, I'd love to hear everyone in the chat, and there are people active in the chat. We've got an active chat going, and of course, my co-host with the most, and that would be Mr. Jim Chaboyko. So before I jump back into doing, setting up this week's movie and everything, what had you guessed, or what did you think she would have ended up doing, Tracy Flick? That she was going to be in law or something?
Oh yeah, I just thought she would, if she wasn't elected, that she'd be in law, but clerking for, I don't know, Samuel Alito or what have you, and sort of be firmly ensconced on the right hand of things, and quite possibly ruling on things like special masters these days. But that was just my own speculation. So,
well, folks, Tracy Flick ends up becoming an assistant like a vice principal of a school, an assistant principal of a high school. Anyway, I actually am going to read the book because I'm super excited to see where Perrotta took this. She does kind of explore her past, including the quote affair, close quote, with the fucking teacher twice her age. Anyway, Jim, I'm going to